Shit. What up there, gaming communities? This is your boy chdeaaanime, whatever others want to call me. And today, I'm here to review Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, before I get started, I just want to say something real quick. I know it's been a while since I've done like a fucking gaming review or anything dealing with gaming, so it's good to see my gaming guys back. Welcome back to you, boy. Now, first of all, I have certain things I need to address with Dragon Age Inquisition. Me and Inquisition had a very rough start. Dealing with my choices and then some of the glitches, and then this game did not start off the best for me. And I don't know if that's because I'm playing it on last gen consoles or because this game just genuinely had issues. But I'm not going to let the beginning cloud my judgment, because at the end of the day, I'm just going to say this right here and now. Dragon Age Inquisition is a very good game, and it was the best game of 2014. It wasn't my game of the year, that goes to Spec Ops: The Line, but it was the best game that 2014 offered me to play that year. So now, let's go ahead and get into the actual review of Dragon Age Inquisition, and let's start off with the story. Now, the story, if it hasn't been explained in the fucking trailers enough, is basically you play as the Inquisitor, the no-named individual who leads the Inquisition, who's trying to stop who's trying to close the breach, a big-ass hole in the sky that's letting demons drop out. And it's your job to be tasked with raising an army and leading your men to close this breach and finding out the mysteries behind it, and that's pretty much the story. Now, they bring back in this Dragon Age game the ability to choose the race of your Inquisitor. So you're not just stuck with human. You can go human, Dalish elf, a Quinari dwarf, which Quinari being the newest one. Haven't played as it yet, maybe one of these days. I just know certain armor sets are locked for the Quinari, but now, I'm going to say this right now. I have played a little bit of both. I beat the game as a human, and then I played it again with like maybe about like through the first like hour or so with the Dalish elf, and I immediately noticed a difference between the two. As a human, you have a more political pull. Like, it'll come into play, like it really will in certain missions, and it'll even come into play with certain. It'll even affect certain side missions that you get, which is actually pretty cool. I like that, because even Origins didn't have that. Origins, you know, people noticed that you weren't, you know, a human, but they didn't make it a big deal. You still had pull. But in this game, being a Dalish elf, or let's say like a Quinari, does probably hurt you in certain aspects. Now, from there, you have, you know, the story in and of itself is strong. It's a strong story. It's a really good one. And a lot of people say, well, I don't understand the story. I definitely remember in IGN's review, they said, oh, the story is very hard to understand, or they don't really know what's happening. But if you pay attention to the lore of Dragon Age, and everything is explained in the game. Like, if you actually like look at the shit that's in the game and read the codex entries and certain things, everything that you need to know about the story is explained. It's really not that hard, especially for like older Dragon Age fans. This will be like nothing for us. But if you're new to the franchise, just pay attention to some of the, you know, codex entries and all that to you know, read shit. Yeah, I know it's a hard concept. So, along with the story, we have the cast of characters. Now, I'm gonna just say this now. Dragon Age Inquisition, in my personal opinion, has probably the worst cast of all the Dragon Age games. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not a good cast. I mean, like, Iron Bull is awesome. Varric is awesome. I really like Cassandra. But the issue is there's not enough of those likable characters. I found myself hating a lot of the main cast. Like, I actually found myself not liking them or feeling indifferent about them. Whereas in Origins, I loved every single character. There wasn't a single character that I didn't care about. And there wasn't, in Dragon Age 2, there were maybe like one or two characters that I didn't like and or care about, but I cared about the majority. In this game, I'm kind of split down the middle, and I'm not counting Liliana and Cullen, because they're returning characters. We know who they are. I'm talking about this new cast of people that come in for the Inner Circle. I found myself really not liking them. They really did not measure up, in my opinion. I didn't like Dorian. I didn't like Sarah. they didn't have the charm that I was looking for out of them, and a lot of their designs were really boring. But that's for another part of the review. But I mean, the characters for the characters that I do like, they do have all parts to play, and the story. The characters work. They're functional. They're not horrible characters. It's just that I found myself not liking them. Nor did I like their story arcs. There were only a few story arcs that were good. Cole's was probably the best in the game. Cole probably had one of the best story arcs in the game. Iron Bull's was good. Cassandra's was okay. But Solus's was okay too. But there was one side quest that really pissed me off. And when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, bruh, are you serious? Like, we're really doing... I'm not going to say it because it's a spoiler, but I did not personally like... I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to just leave it at the fact that there was just one side mission that pissed me off. So, from there, I mean, I didn't really care for a lot of the character side missions. I think this is probably the weakest this game has ever been in character side missions. Now let's get into the actual gameplay of the game. Now, this is a tough cookie because I like the gameplay in Inquisition, but there are some changes to it. First of all, there's no more healing mage, so you can just throw that out the window. Second of all, you're limited to how many health potions you can carry, so no more fucking spamming. Now, I like these changes. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing the healing mage come back, and I'm not gonna lie, in my first impressions video, I did say I don't like how there is no healing mage. And I didn't at first, but as I played the game, I found that it forced me to be more resourceful. I had to think my next move out a little bit more and not be so gung-ho into battle. Because when you have 100 freaking health potions, you're not really too worried about what's going to happen next. So this game brings your tactics more into play. You have to think your next move out a little bit more. And they bring back the tactical camera from Origins that you could only use on the PC. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't really use it as much as you might think. Now, in battles against dragons, was pretty much the only time I really used it. I used it here and there, but for the most part, the AI is competent enough to deal with the situation at hand. They also scale down the behavior patterns that you can make with your side character, with your cast, and I didn't like that. I didn't think that was a good change because, I miss the days of Origins and even Dragon Age 2 where you had like this freaking long ass list of things, character behaviors that you could be like, okay, you do this, you protect my mage here. Now you're kind of down to 4, and it's just kind of like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like the game is moving farther away from its roots, and I'm not feeling that. Now onto the actual combat in and of itself. The combat is good, but there's something not right with it. And I remember I was talking to someone last night about it, and he was saying he felt it too. And pretty much everyone I've talked to about Inquisition has relatively said the same thing. That the combat feels too floaty. Like you're not connecting the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like in Origins, and even in Dragon Age 2, I think Dragon Age 2 had the best combat in all of the games, but even in Dragon Age 2, you felt the connection, you felt the weight. This game, you feel too floaty. I think it's because it's open world. Things are a little, you're not so condensed into one little battlefield that things move around a little bit different. But I really felt too floaty and not enough solid connections. And this is not, I'm not taking this away from the game. This is just a personal little gripe of mine. Please bring back finishers, Bioware. I really miss finishers. Finishers were awesome. And for my Dragon Age Origins guys and gals, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you would get someone to the last bit of health and you get like a critical and you just head that motherfucker. I love that. But I'm not going to say that Dragon Age Inquisition has the weakest combat. I would say it's about equal, if not a little bit better than Dragon Age 2, just because you have to be a little bit more tactical. But I do feel like in the next game they need to make it a harder focus on, they need to make it a bigger focus on the actual, combat feeling, making sure it feels gratifying and solid. And this is something that I really need to go, I usually don't go back to other parts of my review, but I need to go back into something dealing with the story because it just hit me and I just remembered it. Dragon Age Inquisition as a story, none of them, it has very few impactful moments, moments that just hits you right home. Do you understand? Like, there's one moment that got me really engaged, and it was during, like, maybe, I wouldn't say the halfway mark, but a little bit before the halfway mark of the game, where your base is under attack. And everything surrounding that moment got me invested. I was like, yo, I'm ready. But then after that, there was never any more high stakes moments like that. This game lacks the high stakes moments of even some of the other games. And I know a lot of people hate Dragon Age 2, but I want you to take a second and look back at the game and think about the Qunari assault on Kirkwall, and think about how high the stakes felt in that situation. Think back to the battle with the Archdemon in Dragon Age Origins. The stakes have always felt high, but in Inquisition, everything felt too, we could get to it eventually. Do you understand? Like, it felt too free. And I know that they were trying, that it's like that because they were trying to get you into this whole, you know, traveling around and doing all the side missions, but it made the story not feel so impactful. And oh my good Lord Jesus Christ, that final battle was garbage. Like, there is no saving grace for that. That was awful. I have to be real here. Like, that final battle was probably one of the most unsatisfying final battles I've ever played in Dragon Age. Yeah, and that it kills me to say that because I love Dragon Age. I bought all the DLC for this. I love this franchise, so don't start thinking that I'm bragging on it because I hate it. I love this fucking franchise, and I love it. I thought Inquisition was a good game. I put like 70 hours into that game. So I'm not saying it sucked. It was the worst Dragon Age game ever, but it has some pretty big issues that I feel like need to be addressed, and that final battle is one of them. And you can't tell me when you go fight he who shall not be named for this moment, when you go fight the final battle, you weren't expecting something bigger, something huge, something dynamic. That shit was like, what the fuck was this shit? No speech? And I mean, like, and then of course the ending ends off very Bioware lied again. There's no 40 freaking different endings. You could go take that shit somewhere else. At most I could see maybe 5 different endings, maybe 10. Well, no, let me take that back because of the whole Dragon Keep thing. You could change some things around, so maybe that affects the ending. But base Dragon Age Inquisition, yeah, you ain't getting no 40 fucking endings. So the thing is just like the game didn't hit home. It had a very strong moment halfway in, but after that point there weren't really too many more really strong moments. That's all I really need to say. Now, onto the graphics. This is the best looking Dragon Age game to date. Now, some people said, oh, well, the freaking animations don't look right. Shut the fuck up. The animations in this game look fine. I mean, yeah, they could be better, but you have to also think about what else Bioware has been working on. Like, look at the massive open world, which I need to praise a bit before I move into the graphics. The open world in this game is amazing. You gonna get lost for a little while. You have so many side missions, character missions. There's so much to do. That's why I put 70 hours into this game, is because there's so much to do. My favorite pastime was hunting dragons. So yeah, I'm the dragon slayer. I'm Natsu up in this bitch. But I enjoyed all the just the sheer amount of content in this game is more than worth your buck. But back into the graphics. So you have to think about all the extra things they had to put into this game. So I feel like they can be forgiven if the facial animations aren't the best in the fucking world. And this game is so colorful. It's really beautiful. Like, really beautiful. Like, you get some moments where you look at all the trees and just the war zone. It just looks great. Now, granted, I played on last gen consoles. There are some big fucking texture issues on last gen, and I mean like horrible. But I'm on last gen, so I'm not going to complain about that, because I know next gen doesn't have the same problem. So it's not like I'm not taking anything away from the game on that tip, because I'm on last gen. I can't complain. So finally, we have the music. This game has beautiful music. Some of the most memorable in the franchise, in my opinion. The Dawn Will Come theme. I rocks that shit. So the music is amazing. Now, past the music, there are a few little things I need to talk about. The final battle, I have to come back to here again. I had two, not just one, but two game-ending glitches that I had to restart the whole game just to finish it. That is horrible. Like, that is deplorable. Like, that fucking killed any amount of hype that I already had for a very underwhelming final battle. So, that's not cool. And there's there's a other list of glitches. I even have a video of one of them. Now, they're minor and very funny, but they're glitches none the same, so I don't take too much away from them. But that fucking final battle glitch pissed me off. I have never been so mad. Like, I had to stop playing the game for a little while because I got that mad. I couldn't finish the fucking game. And this also has some ridiculous ass loading times. Now, I don't know if that's just last gen, but these loading times kind of got out of hand at a point. And I just let me know if you guys experienced that. These aren't things that I'm going to take away from the game. Except for that final battle glitch. That one, yeah, I'm taking a little bit away from the game on that shit. Well, you know what? No, I take that back. I'm not, because I don't know if that's just an isolated me case. That's just something that needs to be said. So if you're going through that, just know you're not the only person. Now, onto the final verdict of the game. What I'm going to give Dragon Age Inquisition is a very strong give it a try on last gen and a must buy on next gen. Now, I do feel like, despite everything I've said about the game, it was a great experience. There is a lot of bang for your buck, and Bioware is definitely moving in the right direction with their franchises, especially after the past 3 failures they've had with Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age 2, and I think Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I just want to say this. If Bioware, by any odd chance that you see this, I am a huge fucking fan of your games. Mass Effect was a game that really touched me and helped me be a person that I wanted to be, or give me something to look up to. And I just want to let you guys know, you guys make some amazing games. And I don't want you to fuck up what you have, like these good games. Dragon Age 2, despite what a lot of people said, was a good game. Don't be so concerned with trying to please everyone like you did with this game. Just condense it a bit. Put a little bit more effort into the, you know, the scope of things. Make people feel like the big ass hero, and I can guarantee you, like they did in Origins, and I can guarantee you will have all the fame that you did with that game. If by any chance y'all see this. So either way it goes, man, I'm signing out now. Give it a game, give it a try. Very strong, can't stress that enough. Give it a try on last gen, and a must buy on next gen. Either way it goes, man, especially with this fucking gaming drought, the thirst must be quenched. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. Please be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do other things up with Black Brother Thrive. And I will catch you on the flip. It has been golden. Peace out, gaming communities.